Aristotle Dumas, the powerful and enigmatic man, had decided to shift the balance of an intricate web of forces intertwined within Genoa City's elite. He needed no grand declarations. Just one short phone call, cold and sharp as a blade, was enough to eliminate Damien from the game. It wasn't merely a punishment for an individual, but a warning to anyone who dared to challenge Dumas. And the consequence? Holden, Damien's loyal ally, was swept away from the position he had spent years building. Damien, though wounded, did not fall. On the contrary, his defeat unveiled his true nature. A man not easily subdued. He did not rush to vengeance but played a smarter hand. He formed an alliance with a rising power, Audra Charles and the company Vibrante. In Audra, Damien recognized the fierce, sharp spirit he needed to start over. His offer to bring Holden into Vibrante's ranks wasn't just an act of loyalty. It was a test to see if Audra was willing to play the high-stakes game with him. Meanwhile, in another corner of the city, Chelsea and Adam were quietly laying their pieces on the board. Their relationship resembled two sword tips, always threatening to clash, yet inseparable. Their discreet conversation at a high society party was not just a reunion, it was an unspoken agreement. Chelsea revealed a shocking secret, a scandal with the potential to derail Victor Newman's entire plan, the seemingly untouchable man. She understood the danger of this information all too well and knew that if she didn't act now, she would be swept away from the power play. Adam, who understood his father better than anyone, didn't miss the opportunity. He saw something in Chelsea's eyes that wasn't always there. Unyielding determination. This scandal wasn't just his chance to escape Victor's shadow. It was a way to reclaim what he believed was rightfully his. But more terrifying than the scandal itself was how they would use it, and who would be dragged into the mire when everything exploded. Under the glittering lights of the evening gala, Diane and Jack Abbott played the roles of gracious hosts, but everyone knew that behind every invitation and smile lay a sharp calculation. Their goal, the younger generation, Abby and Devon. They needed to tie the Abbott legacy to the future, to innovation, and above all, to safeguard their increasingly fragile standing against the rising tide of new covert powers. When Aristotle Dumas was mentioned, Diane's eyes betrayed a mix of unease and admiration. The opulent party in France years ago, where Dumas displayed his dominance in every lavish detail, was a reminder that he was not just a businessman, but a master strategist, planting seeds of influence wherever he went. Michael Baldwin, in his decision to sever ties with Victor, had chosen a side. His conversation with Diane was a mutual recognition between two people who had once struggled in the tangled web of power. Michael was no longer Victor's shadow but a free agent, something Diane understood intimately. Her nod, her sincere praise, and the silent dance that followed were not mere pleasantries. It was an unspoken alliance between those once devoured by greed, now trying to build their own new world. Elsewhere, Nick Newman opened a new chapter by asking Sharon if she would join him in France for the mysterious gathering hosted by Dumas himself. For Sharon, it wasn't just a social invitation. It opened a possibility that between them, after all that had happened, there might still be an unexplored path. This trip, if it came to be, could be the doorway to both business opportunities and emotional reconnection. A surprising rebirth between two souls who had seemingly shut down their feelings for each other. But as love and schemes intertwined in Genoa City, a quiet tragedy unfolded in Victoria's heart. She was no longer the cold woman consumed by power. Confronted with Cole Howard's devastating illness, Victoria transformed into a devoted, unexpectedly strong wife. Love once again proved its power to change people, and during those painful days, Victoria chose to face it, to love unconditionally. The proposal under a starry sky, simple and tearful, marked the pinnacle of a love story once thought closed. Their wedding was not for lasting joy, but for the courage to cherish every possible moment together. When Victoria took Cole's hand, her gaze lit up the entire room, though everyone knew that light might be the last flicker before the storm. Then, another silent twist emerged, suggesting Victoria's wedding might not be just the end of a romance. Days after the ceremony, Cole received a mysterious letter. No return address, no postal mark. Inside was an international medical journal, carefully folded, with a single line circled in red. An experimental therapy may reverse late-stage neurodegenerative decline. At first, Cole thought it was a cruel joke, a fragile sliver of hope amid despair. But Victoria didn't dismiss it. She hired a team of international experts to investigate the research. What they found was strange. The lab behind the therapy had no publicly listed sponsors, but internal documents revealed a familiar name, Aristotle Dumas. The question immediately struck Victoria. Why was Dumas involved in medical research? Why did the letter arrive right after the wedding? And was this a miracle or a trap? Victoria chose not to wait. She flew to France, not just to attend the party with Nick, but to confront Dumas directly. In a luxurious room overlooking the Riviera, she stood face to face with the man who had once terrified entire business empires. "You know Cole is sick. The letter was from you, wasn't it?" she asked, her voice steady. Dumas didn't deny it. He merely shrugged, smiled faintly, and replied cryptically, "True love is always worth the risk, isn't it, Victoria?" The answer was unclear, but enough for Victoria to know. A far bigger game had begun. And this time, it wasn't just about love or power. It was a battle for survival, where truth, trust, and humanity would be tested to their limits. In the days following the wedding, no one knew what would happen. Cole's health might deteriorate quickly. Their future might hold only fleeting moments. But for Victoria, every moment was precious. She devoted herself entirely to caring for Cole, telling him joyful stories, reliving happy memories, making each day count. She refused to cry. Instead, she chose to be strong, proud, just as she had been raised to be. Genoa City was on the verge of a new chapter, where things once thought finished would come alive again, and secrets long buried would rise like restless ghosts. In this world, nothing is accidental. Every move is a strategy, and everyone, knowingly or not, is a piece in the hands of the most cunning or the most ruthless. While all attention was absorbed in romantic entanglements, power struggles, and surprise reunions in Genoa City, Lily Winters pursued a different path. A mysterious, dangerous, yet captivating journey. Unlike others, who cared only for backstage deals or lavish invitations, Lily looked deeper, beyond the dazzling curtain, into the heart of one of the shadow powers reshaping global influence, Aristotle Dumas. Dumas was a name whispered in financial and media circles, a phantom lurking between rumor and control. He never appeared in public, never spoke officially, never left a trace in the press or on social media. Yet his influence reached across technology, media, real estate, even high fashion. Those who met him returned bewildered, offering only cryptic remarks. But for Lily, this wasn't a deterrent. It was an irresistible challenge. Lily didn't hesitate. She packed not only gowns and heels, but secret dossiers, a hidden recorder, and a set of razor-sharp questions. She wasn't attending a party. She was seeking the truth. Before boarding her flight, she met with Devon, her protective brother, and said only, "I'm not going to make noise. I'm going to find out who's running this game and why we're all caught in it." Upon arrival in southern France, Lily was picked up in an unmarked limo by a silent driver. They wound through pine forests and vineyards to a historic mansion overlooking the Mediterranean. There, the world's most powerful figures had gathered, CEOs, politicians, and nameless influencers drawn to the irresistible aura of one unseen man, Aristotle Dumas. The event opened with an outdoor tea party, every detail immaculate. Fresh lavender in crystal vases, violins from balconies, 20-year-old French wine. But Lily wasn't there to admire. She observed, listened, took notes, her eyes scanning familiar faces from Genoa City. Chelsea, Adam, even Nick and Sharon, each with their own agenda, their own untold story. That night, guests were required to wear masks. A Venetian masquerade, both enchanting and eerie. Lily received a black mask trimmed in silver, No explanation why, though it felt like a warning. In the grand ballroom, crystal chandeliers reflected off dazzling gowns. Classical music fused with techno rhythms. A surreal luxury. And amidst this, one man appeared, no mask, no name, but every gaze turned to him. Aristotle Dumas. He made no speech, no greetings, just passed through the crowd, assessing, perhaps selecting. When he paused before Lily, she felt a chill down her spine. His eyes didn't just look. They pierced. He said nothing, simply nodded, then vanished into the dark hall. Lily understood. The game had begun. Over the following days, she was led into small rooms where conversations with unnamed figures probed her ambitions, her loyalty, her willingness to sacrifice for power. Each answer unlocked another layer of the mansion's maze. Lily realized Dumas built his empire not on wealth, but on information, absolute loyalty, and preemptive control of every potential threat. She wasn't just a guest. She was a part of something far greater. Perhaps Dumas had been watching her all along, for her insight, her ties to Devon and Neil, or for something even she didn't yet understand. One thing was certain. Leaving the mansion was easy, but escaping Dumas's influence was nearly impossible. When she returned from France, Lily was no longer the same. She carried secrets, encrypted notes, and a list of people to warn or watch. She said nothing to Devon, only handed him a USB drive. If I disappear, look into this first. In Lily's heart, a new war was brewing. Not for money, not for love, but for the truth.